Revival Muslims present you another Islamic audiobook. What is innovation in religion? Bidah, by Sheikh Mir Asadullah Quadri.
Preface. Life on the planet Earth is changing all the time. Life is an evolution in itself. Earlier, science was studied as one subject. Gradually, the subjects expanded into new fields, and we came to know about major divisions of science. Firstly, it was sciences and applied sciences, then came technology, followed by physics, chemistry, biology. Then came engineering physics, nuclear physics, applied physics, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, medical sciences, biomedical sciences, management sciences, human sciences, psychological sciences, engineering sciences, mobile engineering, telecommunications, aviation engineering, space engineering, computers, internet, artificial intelligence, and so on. Each of the above subject is further divided into many new divisions and studied accordingly. This is a natural evolution of science which took place during the lifetime of many of us. If scientists and technologists did not work in this evolution and creation of innovative things, we would not have seen the comforts of travel in space-age jets, fast trains, versatile cars/transportation vehicles, shipping, etc. We would not have witnessed the communication revolution of mobile phones, internet, artificial intelligence, and many more. Look at the development of science and technology in every field of human activity. In all these innovations, can anyone tell, has there been a change in the basic laws of science? Our answer will be an emphatic no. Laws of science remain the same, but we develop new things making use of those basic laws. The same thing applies in religious issues. Salafists, Wahhabis, and their like-minded groups want to freeze Islam within their illiterate misconceptions. We have discussed the issue of innovation in this book in detail. Inshallah, it will benefit many who have been misled by deviant sects. Contents. Brief history. During the times of Prophet Muhammad and his companions, Muslims acted on religious issues in a composed format. As the time passed, the composed format of religion gradually developed into its detailed version. We had imams, scientists, of ahadith who worked hard on this subject and developed the science of hadith. Why we accept them as imams and follow their books? Because we accept that this is a natural evolution of the subject of hadith. Are not they innovators? Indeed, they are good innovators who have helped people understand Islamic issues. They have brought in front of us various shades of Prophet's traditions in a detailed and written format. What has been proved from this? Anything, new skills or knowledge, that is based on the basic rules of the religion is acceptable, rather necessary. It is in hadith. The Apostle of Allah said, "He who sets a good precedent in Islam, there is a reward for him for this act of goodness, and reward of that also who acted according to it subsequently, without any deduction from their rewards. And he who sets in Islam an evil precedent, there is upon him the burden of that, and the burden of him also who acted upon it subsequently, without any deduction from their burden." Muslim Book 5, Muslim Book 34, Nasai, Ibn Majah, Ahmad, etc. Similarly, the science of exegesis of Qur'an developed. Earlier, we had Abdullah bin Abbas whose opinions on Quranic verses were available. Now we have many versatile Muslims who have written translations and exegesis of Qur'an. Many of these exegesis are useful and widely read by Muslims. In the same way, the Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh, was developed. As the time progressed, we had different imams, scientists/jurists, of Islamic jurisprudence who served the nation during their lifetimes. Out of the many imams who have done research in this subject, for are widely accepted by Muslims as most authentic. All Muslims who work to develop Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh Islami, are indeed good innovators because they developed the science of Islamic law. These imams portray the development of Muslim society into this modern age. Without them, the Muslim nation would have remained frozen in history. They are scientists of their times, and we should learn to respect them for their hard work. In the same way, this science of purification of heart, tazkiyah nafs, was developed. Earlier, in Prophet's and his companions' time, it was in a composed format. People whose hearts were required to be purified belonged to small Arab region. As Muslim areas expanded in the world, many nations came under the banner of Islam. These nations had strong history and culture of their own from thousands of years. Our ulama and Sufi shuyukh of Isin had the difficult task of purifying hearts of these multicultural new Muslims. The scientists of purification of hearts, Sufi sheikhs of Isin, had to develop new ways and means to strengthen the beliefs of these new converts. As has been the case with other fields of religion, new techniques were developed in purifying the hearts of people to make them truthful Muslims. The Sufis and Shuyukh of Isin conducted case studies on these new Muslim nations, and as per their nature and cultural background, they adopted various ideas to bring these huge population into the Islamic fold. This way, the Sufi Shuyukh in various regions of the world became popular. The people who followed them in different regions of the world were identified with their names/silsilas. In Iraq, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. In Central Asia, Bahauddin Naqshband. In Eastern Asia, Khaja Moinuddin Chishti. In Africa, Ali bin Abdullah Abul Hassan Shazli and Shahabuddin Suharwardi and Ahmad Kabir Rafai. And in Europe, Jalaluddin Maulana Rum became popular. Are they innovators? Yes, they are good innovators. They have helped Muslim nation to transform itself into the modern times. Without them, we would have remained frozen in the pages of history. The nation which develops itself with time remains alive. Those who do not want to adapt to the new environment by developing new skills are left behind. Look at the impact these shuyukh had on the history of Islam. We should learn to respect our elders and thank them for their extraordinary efforts in serving the nation rather than destroying their graves and try to eliminate their names from history. The purification of nafs. The religion of Islam focuses more on human self rather than human body. The human inner self is hidden, and our material body is visible. What is faith? Can we physically see it? No. It is the attribute of human self. Can we show the face of belief? No. It is the attribute of our inner self. Therefore it is hidden, but it will remain with us in this world and in hereafter. Many things are related to our hearts which remain hidden from others. When someone lies, can it be seen from our eyes? No. We will have to feel that this man is lying. Tazkiyah nafs is the science of heart. Without tazkiyah nafs, no one can have pure iman. When people's hearts are purified, they move up into the zone of Isin where, as per the hadith of Isin, they can visualize their sustainer. The sciences of understanding of Qur'an, hadith, Islamic jurisprudence, and purification of heart, tazkiyah nafs, developed simultaneously. Many people participated in the development of these sciences. In tazkiyah nafs, many shuyukh of Isin, Sufis came on Islamic horizon at different times during the history of Islam. These shuyukh adopted different ways to cleanse people's heart. The shuyukh of Isin, the truthful Sufis, are the physicians of our nufus. Like a medical doctor is important to keep our body healthy, the Sufis are important to keep our nufus healthy. The truthful Sufis help us to keep the Muslim society spiritually healthy. If you brand them as wrongdoers and innovators, you are not doing any harm to them. Rather, you are making the entire Muslim community sick. Remember, sick nation is useless and is a burden on earth. Therefore, it is important that we do not neglect this area of Islamic activity. We should locate these truthful people in our society and train our people under their able guidance so that the Muslim nation could be kept spiritually healthy for generations to come. Salafists/Deobandis and their like-minded groups say that till the time of companions of Prophet Muhammad, the religion was pure, and after them, innovations appeared. Well, during Sahaba time the religion was in a compact format. Gradually many things, like Islamic fiqh and other subjects developed. Their above statement is like someone saying that the compact basic science book that was studied 100 years ago was pure, and the following decades the new science subjects came up were all innovations. If someone says like this, what will be your reaction? You will laugh at him for this kind of crazy talk? Life in itself is an evolution. When Prophet Muhammad appeared, the Islamic laws were made most comprehensive in the shape of Quran. Before that, the scriptures of other prophets did not contain so much details. The basics of Islam were completed during Prophet's time. It is in Quran, "O Prophet, this day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion." Surah Maida 3. If a scientist tells us more details about the solar system and discovers new planets which were unknown to us, it will be treated as the development of science. But if someone says that the sun has hands and eyes and ears, but these are not visible and not similar to human beings, he will be treated as an innovator, liar, because he is reporting against the fact of the matter. The same rules apply in religion. The basic faith of Islam is Allah is one, independent, and everything else is dependent upon him. He is free from the limitations of face, body, limbs, and direction. If a group of people say that Allah has hands, eyes, and face, and other limitations, they will be treated as liars and will be counseled to change their attitude and come back to the truthful teachings of Islam. If they do not heed to the good counsel, they will see the consequence of their beliefs on the day of judgment. Let us look at our living in the 21st century and compare it with the living of human beings in 7th century when Prophet Muhammad started spreading the message of Islam. Today we use cars, bikes, buses for our travel. At that time people used to walk and some affluent men used to ride horses/camels. Today we use transportation vehicles as goods couriers, and at that time people used camels, carts for transportation of goods. Now we travel from one continent to another in a matter of hours in speed jet airplanes. Then people needed several years to travel from one place to another. Now, we have communication devices like phones, internet, newspapers, electronic media/social media, etc. These things were not available then. Now we live in high-rise multi-story buildings. Previously people lived in mud houses. We have magnificent mosques and educational institutions for our religious studies. Earlier these facilities were not available. Previously we read the Quran which was handwritten. Now it is printed and is available online. Previously people used to drink water from small wells. Now people use purified sea water for drinking. You talk of anything from then and now, everything has changed. All these changes are essentially required innovations for our survival on this planet. We have not broken any religious or natural laws for this development. The basic laws of nature were known to us in composed format earlier. Now they are known to us in expanded format. Similarly, the composed laws of religion of Islam also developed into their detailed version. Some people think that everything new is an innovation. They try to drag people back by 1400 years in a history and want us to do things in the same way as people did at that time. How could this be possible? They say only beating of tambourine, duff, is allowed in Islam as this instrument was used during Prophet's time. The music instruments now available were not there in Prophet's time. At that time, duff was allowed. Then why not dal and drum is allowed now because these are the developed version of the old duff. They should think these things coolly and question themselves how come they are. Living in high-rise buildings now, when during Prophet's time no one lived like that. When someone talks about these simple logical things, they start branding him as innovator. We cannot explain to people who do not want to understand simple things and behave irrationally. Before talking of innovations, they should first cleanse themselves from the modern living in real terms. They should destroy everything that has been built in the name of development and start living in mud houses as people lived during the time of Prophet Muhammad. Why don't they follow the Salaf in everything they did? Apparently, they did not understand the basics of the religion. They got misled by reading books independently, and they lead others to believe in their misconceptions about Islam. Salafi innovation in religion. What is innovation in religion? If someone goes against the fact of the matter and says something which is contrary to the basic beliefs of Islam, it will be treated as innovation. Like Salafists/Wahhabis say that Allah has hands, eyes, but how they are is not known to people. This kind of statements are against the fact of the matter, therefore are innovation in the religion. Well, it is more than innovation, it is shirk and hypocrisy. Differences of opinions are common in Muslim community. There was no opposition to the earlier four imams of fiqh, even though they differed with each other in many issues. What was the reason that the entire Muslim community stood unequivocally against Ibn Taymiyyah, when he introduced new faith and rejected all imams of Islamic jurisprudence. Allah had given Ibn Taymiyyah with exceptional memory and a good analytical mind. When we look at his biography written by his followers, we realize that he did not like to sit as an obedient student in front of expert sheikhs of his time. To become an expert in Sharia, you need to spend considerable time in the company of able shuyukh to understand the fine-tuning of that subject. Ibn Taymiyyah was a zealous young man. He read many books, memorized them all, including Qur'an and Hadith books, and before he could complete his teens, 19 years, he thought himself to be a scholar in various Islamic subjects. Since he had an exceptional memory and argumentative power, he considered it was sufficient. When scholars of his time drew his attention that what he deduced by his independent study was wrong, he should have headed to their call and tried to discipline himself for a few more years and spent some time with variety of experts and listened to their arguments with a positive mind frame. He did not do all that. He preferred to face them head-on with his self-acquired knowledge. If he had allowed himself to be polished with the attention of the shuyukh of Isin of his time, he could have been very useful to Muslims. He used his expertise to make people believe his way of thinking. He did mesmerized crowds with his argumentative skills and encyclopedic knowledge. But he remained aloof from the intrinsic spirit of Islam and became head of a deviant sect. He suffered for his new beliefs throughout his life as he was imprisoned several times during his lifetime, and in the end he died in jail on Sunday, September 26, 1328 AD at the age of 65. But by that time he had implanted the seed of a new sect. This seed was provided with water and manure by many people, primarily by his student Ibn al-Qam, 1292 to 1350, and later by his dedicated follower Ibn Abdul Wahhab, 1703 to 1792. The seed has now grown into a massive banyan tree. The people of Islamic jurisprudence. The doors of deducing rules as per new requirements of times is generally an ongoing process. The subject is very vast, therefore we will describe it briefly here. There are 4 types of people associated with Islamic jurisprudence. The absolute interpreter, Mujtahidi Mutlaq. He is a person of principles of Islamic jurisprudence. His approach of deducing things and reasoning is exclusive. The 4 imams of Islamic jurisprudence, Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki and Hanbali, are covered in this category. The interpreter of the school of thought, Mujtahid fil Mazhab. He is greatly influenced by his imam/sheikh. At times he differs from his sheikh in principles, though it happens very rarely. In related issues, he deduces things as per his interpretations. He can find solutions to any new thing faced by the people. He considers minutely on hadiths, and if some hadith is proves closer to the issue, he gives edicts differing with his sheikh. The interpreter of preference, Sabi Tarji, he gives preference in the sayings of various imams in a specific issue. As he has less strength of distinguishing things as compared to the above interpreters, he gives preference to one saying from among the sayings of the above interpreters. The jurisprudential counselor, Mufti. Muftis deduce things from the books of Islamic jurisprudence. As a matter of fact, they are only narrators. Their individual effort is only to the extent that they go through the books and bring out the answer in a given issue. The essential requirements of jurisprudence doctors are, they should be well versed with ancient and modern Arabic phraseology, its grammar, syntax, philology, idiomatic usage, and rhetoric. In addition, they should have the knowledge of Qur'an, its exegesis and the principles of exegesis. The knowledge of hadith, its principles, and encyclopedic classification of narrators is a requirement. The knowledge of fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, and its principles are required. They need to know logic, the issues related with consensus of Muslims' opinion and the differences of opinions between imams of various fields. They should know the circumstances and issues of their times, the law of the country, and general public trend in Muslim society. But most important of all is the requirement that they should thoroughly know the spiritual requirements of Islam, should have purified their hearts under eminent sheikhs of Isin, and should be trained in all the above subjects under able scholars of their times by spending decades in their company to learn the complexities of these subjects. Following imams of fiqh. Following of 4 jurisprudential imams is not their personal emulation, taqlid. They are accepted teachers of Muslims in the area of Islamic jurisprudence. The question here is not blind emulation, taqlid. Rather, it is the matter of trust Muslims have in these great imams. That it is in Quran, Prophet Muhammad is an exemplary model for all of you. Surah Ahzab 21. What is the meaning of this verse? Simply follow the Prophet in whatever he does. Who will follow the Prophet? The one who has complete trust in him. The hypocrites in Prophet's time did not follow him because they lacked the requirement of trust in him. After Prophet Muhammad, people trusted the rightful caliphs and followed them. After the companions, people followed the Tabi'in, first-generation followers of the companions of Prophet Muhammad because they trusted in their sincerity and knowledge. Then came the time of Tabi'in, the followers of Tabi'in, and people followed them. Then came the times of imams of various Islamic subjects. This period was followed by the sheikhs of Isin or truthful Sufis. People followed all these spiritual leaders because they had trust in them. Every time, every period in Islamic history, we do have rightful people who can be followed. These virtuous nufus are there in every place and every time. If the requirement of following was not to be there, then in the presence of Quran, Allah would not have asked people to follow the Prophet in whatever he did. It is not blind following. Rather, it is the trust in a knowledgeable individual which helps us overcome our day-to-day problems in religious life. Why do we go to muftis for their edicts in certain issues? It is because we trust them for their knowledge and their sincerity in religion. If this following is removed from society, how will we deal with various issues? We believed in all imams of hadith. This is the reason we follow the hadiths mentioned in their books. First, we need to have trust in Imam Bukhari. Then we will believe in the hadith mentioned in his book. This way, are not we following Imam Bukhari? Muslims follow all venerable imams, sheikhs of Isin, truthful legendary Sufis, Ashab Irazalullah, in all their actions. This is the foundation on which the building of Islam rests. If you remove this foundation and ask people to go back to the books of hadith and Quran on their own and lead the life of a Muslim, will it be possible? No, we will lose the track. We will be misled and go astray. If you do not study a subject under the able and experienced teacher, there is every possibility that you will be misled. This is what has happened with Salafis. They thought, by reading books they can emulate and follow Ashab Irazalullah. It is not possible. They were misled from the Quran and Hadith because they interpreted these books as per their limited understanding. We have famous Salafi/all Hadith scholars in our times also who have studied Quran and Hadith on their own and have memorized many books. Their talks and logical explanations look impressive on the face. They are big crowd pullers. They have learnt the art of debates and arguments. They mesmerize people from their photo finish memory. But, alas, they have been completely misled in their basic faith. They use their skills in misguiding thousands of people. They seem to have ignored the fact that the study of Sharia cannot be undertaken without the help of reliable Islamic teachers. Sharia cannot be perfected without practice and close contact with the experts. This is the reason they could not understand the wisdom of the 4 imams of Islamic fiqh and rejected them en masse. They do not say openly that they reject all 4 imams. They say that they will follow the imam only when his saying is in accordance with hadith books. Meaning, they will judge imams of our ummah with their limited unskilled knowledge acquired by self-study. What an illiteracy is this? Salafis, Deobandis, and like-minded groups confuse innocent Muslims by misquoting the following hadith. It is in hadith, Jabir Abdullah radiallahu anhu said, "When Allah's apostle delivered the sermon, his eyes became red, his voice rose, and his anger increased, so that he was like one giving a warning against the enemy and saying, 'The enemy has made a morning attack on you, and in the evening too.' He would also say, 'The last hour, and I have been sent like these too.' And he would join his forefinger and middle finger, and would further say, 'The best of the speech is embodied in the book of Allah, and the best of the guidance is the guidance given by Prophet Muhammad. And the most evil affairs are there. Innovations, and every innovation is misguidance, and every misguidance goes to hellfire.'" Sahih Muslim, Book 4, Hadith 1885. Watch the wordings of the above hadith. "And most evil affairs are their innovations, and every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance goes to hellfire." Salafists/Deobandis and like-minded groups confuse innocent Muslims, saying that everything new is innovation and every innovation is misguidance. The above hadith is talking about evil issues, meaning evil deeds which are referred to as Bidah. The hadith is not talking about virtuous deeds which do not contradict with Qur'an and Sunnah. The hadith of Jabir radiallahu anhu narrated by Imam Muslim states, the Apostle of Allah said, "Whoever introduces some good practice in Islam will have the reward of it, as well as the reward of those who act on it after him, without their rewards being diminished in any respect." Good innovations by Sahaba were allowed by Prophet Muhammad. It is in Hadith, Muad ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu said, "We were performing Salah when a man arrived who had missed part of the Salah. The person next to him indicated to him, 'You missed such and such,' so he performed it. He said, 'We were between bowing and prostrating and standing and sitting. So I came and had missed part of the Salah. It was indicated to me what I had missed. I said, I do not find him in any state except that I am in that state. So I was with them in the state which I found them upon. Then when the Prophet completed, I stood and prayed. The Apostle of Allah faced the people and said, 'Who said such and such?' They replied, 'Muad ibn Jabal.' So he said, 'Muad radiallahu anhu has initiated a new practice for you, so follow him in it. If any of you comes and has missed something of the Salah, then let him pray with the Imam. Then when the Imam completes the Salah, let him perform that which he missed out.'" Abu Dawud, Ahmad, and Ibn Abi Shayba related this hadith with a sound and continuous chain. It is in hadith, Sa'idi ibn al-Muzib narrated that Bilal radiallahu anhu came to the Prophet to call him for the Salah of Far. It was said to him, "He is sleeping." He replied, "Salah is better than sleep. Salah is better than sleep." The Prophet replied, "How excellent this is. Include it in your adhan." So it became established as part of the adhan of Far. Al-Hidayah, Volume 1, Sunan ibn Majah. There are similar hadith in this context in Nasai, Abu Dawud, At-Tahawi, Daraqutni, Ibn Khuzaymah, Sunan Baihaqi, etc. Some people say that this phrase was added in Far Azan by Hadrat Umar. This is not a correct understanding. They have misunderstood the wording of a hadith in some ahadith books. Let us read the wording of that hadith. It is in hadith, the adhan reciter went to Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu informing him the Far prayer time. He found Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu asleep. So he shouted, "As-salat khairum minan nawm." Hadrat Umar ordered to include it in the azan. Muwatta, Imam Malik. Read the wordings of the hadith. The person shouted on the house of Hadrat Umar, "As-salatu khairan min and nawm." What Hadrat Umar told him was, include that phrase in Azan al-Fajr and do not use it independently to wake people. The utterance of Hadrat Umar has been misunderstood by some people. What Hadrat Umar said to that person was, keep that phrase included in Azan al-Fajr and do not use it to wake up people for Fajr prayer. Hadrat Umar did not like a phrase of Azan to be used to wake people in their houses individually, as this phrase was already part of Azan al-Fajr from the time of Prophet Muhammad. Where was the need for Hadrat Umar to tell him to include it in Azan al-Fajr? It is in hadith, Abdur Rahman bin Abdul Kari said, I went out in the company of Hadrat Umar bin al-Khattab one night in Ramadan to the mosque and found the people praying in different groups, a man praying alone or a man praying with a little group behind him. So Umar radiallahu anhu said, in my opinion, I would better collect these people under the leadership of one Qari reciter, i.e., let them pray in congregation. So he made up his mind to congregate them behind Hadrat Ubay bin Ka'b. Then on another night, I went again in his company, and the people were praying behind their reciter. On that Umar remarked, what an excellent bidah this is. But the prayer which they do not perform, but sleep at its time is better than the one they are offering. He meant the prayer in the last part of the night. In those days, people used to pray in the early part of the night, Bukhari. The Saltat Tra'i in the month of Ramadan is Sunnah of the Prophet, and it has its beginning during the lifetime of the Apostle of Allah. It was revived by Hadrat Umar during his caliphate. It is in Hadith, Umm-ul-Mu'mineen Hadrat Aisha narrated that, one night Allah's Apostle offered the prayer in the mosque, and the people followed him. The next night, he also offered the prayer, and too many people gathered. On the third and the fourth nights, more people gathered, but Allah's apostle did not come out to them. In the morning he said, I saw what you were doing, and nothing but the fear that it, the prayer, might be enjoined, make fars for you, stopped me from coming to you. And that happened in the month of Ramadan. Sahih Bukhari, Book 19, Hadith 9. Mu'mineen Hadrat Aisha narrated that once, during Ramadan, in the middle of the night, Allah's apostle went out and prayed in the mosque, and some men prayed with him. The next morning the people spoke about it, and so more people gathered and prayed with him in the second night. They circulated the news in the morning, and so, on the third night the number of people increased greatly. Allah's apostle came out, and they prayed behind him. On the fourth night the mosque was overwhelmed by the people till it could not accommodate them. Allah's apostle came out only for the Fajr prayer, and when he finished the prayer, he faced the people and recited Tashahhud, and then said, Amma Badu. Verily your presence, in the mosque at night, was not hidden from me, but I was afraid that this prayer, Salat Tarawih, might be made compulsory and you might not be able to carry it out. Bukhari, Book 11, Hadith 48. It is in Hadith, Rifa bin Rafi radiallahu anhu narrated, we were praying one day behind the Prophet. When he raised his head from ruku he said, Allah listens to the one who praises him. Then when he completed the Salah, the Prophet said, Who is the one who said that? The man replied, I. He said, I saw more than 30 angels rushing to see which of them would write it down first. Sahih Bukhari. Ibn Hajar said in Al-Fath al-Bari, it is inferred from the above hadith the permissibility of doing dhikr during Salah. It is in hadith, Ikrimah reported from Hadrat ibn Abbas that the Apostle of Allah said to Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, O Abbas, O uncle, shall I not give you? Shall I not present to you? Shall I not donate to you? Shall I not tell you 10 things which, if you do, Allah will forgive your first and last sins, past and present sins, intentional and unintentional sins, private and public sins? The 10 actions are, pray 4 rak'at, reciting this tasbih, Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Glory to Allah. All praise is for Allah. There is not God except Allah, and Allah is the greatest, 70 times in each rak'at. If you can pray Salat at Tasbih once a day, do so. If you cannot, then pray once every Friday. If you cannot do that, then pray it once a year. And if you cannot do that, then pray it at least once in your lifetime. The above hadith confirms that repetitive dhikr/tasbih during Salah is a virtuous deed which brings abundance of rewards from Allah. The actions done differently which are not based on basic rules of Islam are indeed evil innovations, and these are forbidden in Islam. The blatant example in this context is the practice of fake marriages in Salafi society, like misyar, etc. Misyar is formal legalization of prostitution in the name of religion. There cannot be two opinions in this context.
This audiobook is completed here. If you want to listen to more Islamic audiobooks, then like, comment, and do share this video. If you want to listen to more Islamic audiobooks, then subscribe this channel.